Hey everyone, we got our weekly update from Cisco on what food shortages are developing, what's happening in the market out there. We're going to be hearing from industry insiders here telling us exactly what they're seeing on the inside of the market. We're also going to see what the U.S. Department of Agriculture has to say about some of the shortages out there. This is what's happening. This is what's going to be coming to your stores very, very soon. Let's jump into it. Welcome to the Poplar Report, and this is our weekly Cisco Market Corner update. Cisco is a major mass distributor of food to industry and industrial places like schools and hospitals and all sorts of restaurants out there. So they really have their finger on the pulse of the market, and they produce this report every week. So let's dive in and see what they're saying are issues with the food supply chain out there. We look at it from the stores a lot of times from our perspective, but this will let us peek behind the curtain to see what's going on according to the industry insiders and professionals. First off, beef. Through the first 4 months of 2024, dairy cow harvest is down 12%. That's a big drop. Are 12% less of Americans not eating beef now? Or are Americans overall eating 12% less beef than they did last year? Friends, that should raise your eyebrows a little bit. So, shortage of cow product available on the open market. Producers have not had to cull herds as they have needed to in years prior. So they're sending less cows, and there's less cows getting butchered. And of course, beef herds are also much lower this year as well. On the left there, you see the chart tracking soybean oil prices, and you'll see 2024 is actually low. Prices are low on soybean oil compared to previous years, but if you go to the grocery store, you wouldn't know it, because the prices at the grocery store is a lot higher than what it has been the last few years. So we'll talk about that too as it comes up. But dairy, 2 new HPAI outbreaks, that's bird flu, have affected 5.7 million birds. The last outbreak have only affected Michael Foods. They have multiple egg suppliers here on Cisco's supply chain, and they're saying that only one of their intakes is actually being impacted. All other Cisco egg suppliers, fresh shell type eggs, are not impacted at this time and will continue to ship products with no interruptions. So we're seeing major news out there that they're only being impacted price-wise right now. All right, this video is brought to you by Prepper Beef. We partner with them because they make really high quality freeze-dried beef, and it's not injected with any of those hormones or with pokes in the arms or any of that kind of stuff. They promise to make it super clean, and they only use American-raised beef, which is not something you can say out there for a lot of those out there. And they're big chunks of beef. So if you're interested in getting high-quality beef, check the link out at the end of the video. They also have discounts, big discounts up to 25% going on out there if you use our code. All right, so poultry. Tenders continue to be a hottest part of the bird, and excess supply is non-existent. Wings continue to be in high demand despite the summer season being here, and supply is limited. Jumbo breast supply has improved, so that's easier to get now as hatchability has improved. Now, just last week, they were saying the hatchability was really having problems, even up till last week. So there seems to be some good news over the past week about that. Dark meat demand remains very good. Whole birds are mostly balanced. So if you're trying to get chicken tenders out there, good luck with that. Same thing with wings. You're probably going to pay out the nose for it. So just think about getting to cheaper cuts of chicken, including breasts. Pork. Butts have softened, prices have softened, so that means that they've come down a little bit as expected, but not at the rate forecasted after Memorial Day. Spare ribs remain volatile due to constraints from demand and St. Louis production. Back ribs are trending up and should continue throughout June. So the prices are going to continue up on some of those things is what it's saying, and boneless loins will follow suit. Trending up, right, with butts on their normal seasonal decline until later in the month. Bellies continue to be a roller coaster. So bellies also are bacon, right? So Pork is kind of up and down right now. Beef, the market continues to be unsettled as packers and buyers have different ideas on which direction the market will move this summer. So basically, nobody's sure what's going to happen next. They know the supply is coming down. The question is demand going to follow suit and drop dramatically too? As prices go up, are people going to just stop buying it, right? And that's the direction where we are. Ribs, strips, and top butts holding steady. Tenders continue to disappoint as consumers shy away from high prices. Insides, chucks, and grinds are steady as customers look for bargains. Increased harvests could lead to a market adjustment prior to next holiday. But where's that increased harvest going to come from? We have the smallest beef herd out there. And dairy cows are not being turned into ground beef at the same rates as they usually are. So where's the break going to come from? They don't seem to be panicking about it just yet, but friends, maybe they just don't want to panic anybody. Dairy, shell egg markets are all up, which is interesting because everything we've been hearing from you guys out there are that egg prices are down. And I'm seeing that here in Pittsburgh as well. Egg prices are down. So listen to Cisco when they're saying egg prices are all up. That's going to trickle down to you very shortly, I promise you. The latest HPAI outbreaks only directly affect their one brand. The two farms are a blend of both conventional and cage-free egg layers. Block and Barrel, which is another one of their brands, are decreasing. Cheese production schedules are steady to stronger throughout. The U.S. butter is up production, right? Cream is tightening though. And so cream and creamers out there are there's less of it, right? Grains and oil. Soybean oil futures moved higher last week. With good planting progress, good weather, and ample South American supply, and large fund selling. So there's investors are dumping soybeans, and we're getting good news on the markets out there of what may happen next with soybeans. So the price should be coming down, but it went up. The move seemed more like keeping in step with higher palm oil prices than anything else. Okay, so palm oil prices out of Indonesia and other places, but Indonesia is the main market mover for palm oil. And as that price has gone up, we're seeing other grain oils go up too. Now, these things won't necessarily trickle right into your store. It's not a blow for blow. These markets get kind of settled down before it hits your store shelves, and so the prices tend to be a little more consistent there. But generally speaking, we're seeing just oils in general going up in price. Expect the market to trend lower into next week. Canola too was higher. So all the oils going up in price. All right, seafood. North Atlantic lobster tails, which I know all of you are like, yeah, of course, I got to have my lobster tail for Tuesday and for Thursday, right? Yeah, I know. Who can afford that, right? But the supply is improving. They had a big shortage. Prices are coming down. Markets are steady week over week. Seafood sector is gearing up for big holidays going into summer, and operators are revamping summer menus. All right, so let's rubber meets the road on vegetables. Asparagus, increased volume out of Baja Peninsula, right, Mexico. Combined with light demand, saw market decline. However, as local production winds down, market will pick up. Bell peppers in the east and the west. East, green bell supply is light, but demand is very good. So market will increase. So prices going up. Red and yellow bells, limited supply. West coast, green bell peppers are extremely short this week. Color is limited as well. Demand has increased and market is trending higher. Broccoli, market pushing higher, prices going up as growers navigate planting gaps that are limiting supplies. So broccoli and bell peppers both having some issues there. Cabbage, green and red. Red pricing remains elevated as supplies continue to be snug or tight, right? Supplies and quality good on green, that market is mostly steady. So you switch over to green, right? Unless you really need the red. Cauliflower, production is behind schedule and the market has jumped up quickly. We expect light supplies in the next couple of weeks. So cauliflower, the next number of weeks is not going to be very available, or you're going to be paying more for it. Cilantro, parsley, tight supply continues, and cilantro and market is firm with strong demand. Quality is okay, but weather is impacting yields. Parsley markets active as Italian parsley supplies remain limited. Curly parsley supplies are better. Corn in the east. Corn quality is good, supply very good, demand good. Market remains on the low end, so prices are low with availability good. West. White production is steady, as is the market. Quality is good. Yellow and beet color is a little more limited. Green beans, east. Beans are very tight and market is high. Plantings are sporadic due to rain and weather issues Georgia has experienced. West. Demand exceeds due to limited volume and transitional growing area late startup due to cooler weather. Not expecting relief for 2 weeks. So green beans are not looking good across the U.S. now, so you can always just pick up some canned or some frozen, and that should be fine. But fresh stuff is going to be a little more of an issue. Lettuce, iceberg, market active and remains elevated due to overall light supplies industry-wide. If you've been to a store recently, you know this is true. Iceberg lettuce is hard to find, and when you find it, it's small and expensive. The forecast is for steady prices at current levels. Demand is exceeding supplies. They're not saying it's going to reverse anytime soon, so just brace for that or look for alternatives. Onions, supplies are good on all colors in New Mexico with no issues to report. So onions, good. Northern and Southern California overlapping, which is increasing availability. Right now is a good time to get stocked up on onions. Potatoes, russets. Supplies are very light. We've been hearing a lot from you guys out there that there's issues with the potato market and potato growing patterns out there, Idaho, all that. So 40 to 50 count from most suppliers and 90 to 120 CT are plentiful. Smaller are plentiful, but big potatoes are hard to find right now. This now looks to be the case throughout the summer months. Demand is following supply accordingly. Prices are steady on large and lower on smaller sizes. So you can get better deals on the smaller potatoes right now, but big potatoes are hard to find. Squash, east. Zucchini and yellow squash are extremely limited. There are small pockets of squash around, but difficult to get loaded. Demand is very good and market prices are extremely high. West. Demand exceeds for both zucchini and yellow squash due to late production caused by poor weather. So squashes, zucchinis, all that kind of stuff is hard to find right now. Tomatoes. Markets are steady on all varieties, round, Roma, grape, cherry, with no gap between Georgia and South Carolina and Florida crops. We expect it to remain flat for the next few weeks. So tomatoes are in good supply right now. Avocados, prices are expected to rise this week with steady increases throughout the month of June. Prices going to keep going up on avocados, folks. Harvests are lighter and packers are chasing fruit, driving field prices higher in Mexico. Also, not just avocados, but citrus, lemons. California is still experiencing a shortage of small lemons. General lemon demand remains strong. Some small imported lemons are starting to arrive. Supply is exceeded by demand. The lemon market will continue to be tight throughout the summer. If you guys are getting value from these things, these reports, please do hit the thumbs up and let us know what you guys are seeing in your stores. If you're seeing any of these things popping up at your stores down in the comment section below, that helps it get out to more people. Oranges, the Valencia orange season is underway in California. Overall, the quality is very good. The industry is experiencing shortage of smaller sized oranges. However, seeing a slight reprieve from schools with schools out for the summer break. So a little bit of flex there with the oranges, but still seeing issues. Limes, overall lack of rain and higher temperatures will affect sizing and quality shelf life. The trees are stressed. Larger sizes are extremely limited in supply, but smaller are a little easier to find. Grapes, good supply on both coasts from import and Mexico. Product is off to a positive start as well, expecting tiered markets through this and next week as quality and volume improve. Grapes will be easier to find next week than they are this week, so the shortages out there on grapes is starting to reverse. This is over at the U.S. Department of Agriculture, talking about the stockpiles of stuff. Butter stocks were up 14% from last month and up 9% from a year ago. So there's more butter out there in cold storage than there was last year and more than there was last month. The total frozen poultry supplies were up 1% from the previous month, but down 5% from a year ago. Now this is trailing. That's data from April 30th, which is the most recent information we have. Total stocks of chicken were down 3% from the previous month, but look at this, 10% less chicken in frozen storage than there was last year. Total pounds of turkey, there's more turkey, up 6% since last year. Total frozen fruit stocks down 6% from last month, but up 9% from a year ago. So actually there's more fruit in cold storage this year than there was last year. Vegetable stocks, down 6% since last month, but down only 2% from a year ago. Total red meat supplies. This is what's really interesting because we're tracking the beef and pork and such out there. In freezers, we're up 4% versus previous month, but down 9% from last year. 9% less red meat, friends, than last year in cold storage. Total pounds of beef in freezers was down 5% since last year. Frozen pork supplies down 12% versus last year. So pork is actually worse off than the beef. Stocks of pork bellies were up since last month, but down 6% since last year. So that kind of gives you an idea of what's going on out there in the market. Let us know what you guys are seeing at your stores. Make sure you use the word update in your comment to get it to the right place if you have an update for us all. Thanks so much for watching, and make sure you're subscribed if you're not already. But on the screen, there's a link to Prepper Beef if you want to check them out and see what freeze-dried beef looks like and the pricing. You can get up to 25% off if you use the code Poplar15 and you use a subscription option. You can always cancel it whenever you want to, though. And then there's a video from this channel also on the screen. I'll see you guys over there, or I'll see you guys later. Steve Poplar of the Poplar Report.